just a freaking taste.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's January 3rd, 2025. This is The Drop. Happy New Year. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, Tass Mellis.
Podcast listeners, this is for you.
Next to him, it's the bearded one, my top shot hot boy, Trey Kirby.
Hey-o.
And over yonder, back from the Great White North, super producer JD.
Hello.
There he is. Here we are. Shout out to everybody joining us live on YouTube. Hit the like button, subscribe. Good to have the whole crew back in the Classic Factory. JD, any stories to share from Canada and your holiday break?
I mean, it was just a beautiful white Christmas.
Oh,
yeah.
So jealous.
Gorgeous.
That's okay. We're going to get 17 inches of snow next
heard.
week here in Atlanta. No,
Can't
we're
wait.
probably not. Great to have you back. Podcast listeners, leave us a 5-star rating and review. Get your year started right by doing that 5-Star Friday, which we had planned on doing in today's Drop podcast. We're going to push to next week because we got an action-packed episode here of The Drop. Worst of the week nominees.
Yep.
Got 3 or 4 really good ones for you coming up later. Pick 'em results from last month, and we'll tell you what this guy right here is going to be doing next week.
I hope it doesn't snow.
Oh, boy. Hope you've got a winter jacket. And we got some rapid fire fun. But first, we had 3 wedgies this past week. Back in 2024 and then one in 2025.
Hey.
Monday, Quentin Grimes in Sacramento sticks the 3-point wedgie from the right side. The following night, John Conchar sticks the wedgie from the other side of the court in Phoenix for the Grizz. And then, we're not done. Last night, our first wedgie of 25, Delano Banton in LA with a sort of rare layup, sort of floater wedgie. Yeah, for sure.
Would it have slipped out if no one touched it? It's questionable.
Yeah.
It's questionable. It may have not been a wedgie.
Now, there was a good replay where Klingon really did pop it out very quickly. Because I thought the same thing in live action. I was like, whoa, I think that may have fallen out. But
right.
It was in there.
He said it's clinging. I'm going to get it out of there.
That's right.
3 wedgies in 4 days to
needed
pick
it.
up the
That's
pace.
Yeah, we went a long time with that one. So.
It looked like we may have had, or we were going to get the fewest wedgies we've ever seen since we started recording wedgies in over 11 years now. And that's... that picked up the pace now.
Yeah, that's good.
Decent rate here.
They come in bunches. We say that all the time. It's true. It really is. Okay, so here's what we're doing on The Drop today. What better way to ring in the new year than to throw down some resolutions? And not for us. No. We'll do that maybe later in Rapid Fire. We're going to suggest some resolutions a few NBA teams, players, whatever, should adhere to in 2025. We'll do a few rounds of this, touch on a bit of the league. Tass, why don't you go first? What's your big resolution for a team or a player, wherever you're going?
Well, the Miami Heat.
Oh, boy.
They should get Jimmy Butler more involved in the offense to bring him his joy, give him more joy. As he said after the game, I guess that's his resolution, be happier.
To get out of Miami.
Yeah, well, he said, I am open to going anywhere now. And apparently he's asked the front office to trade him. But I do think, despite him being unhappy with his way that he's playing on the floor, how much he's shooting, I don't think the Miami Heat do end up trading him. It has been a few odd weeks here. I mean, it started December 21st versus OKC. In the first quarter, Jimmy Butler turned his ankle, left the game with an illness, air quotes illness, and then 2 games not with the team because of that illness. Then the following 3 games, he had to return to competition reconditioning, so he didn't play for 5 straight games. Then New Year's Day, he finally made a return. 9 points, 5 shots, 24 minutes, sat in the fourth quarter by Eric Spoelstra, who was just trying to get the best players out there. Then the following day, January 2nd, yesterday, when he had that post game where he said, I got to find my joy, again, against the Pacers, where they were bombed. They were killed. 9 points, 6 shots, 26 minutes, didn't play in the fourth again. So the post-game press conference, he said, I felt like I did my job, or whatever my job is now, because he's kind of hanging out in the corner. He said, I haven't done that since my first 3 years in the NBA. My usage is down. I don't shoot as much. He's looking to get his joy back, as he said. And then it was interesting to hear Tyler Hero, who is the joy of this team right now, because he's balling. He was asked about Butler immediately. It went straight from the post-game press conference from the desk to him in his locker room. He said, Butler was told that he's looking for his joy. Hero just laughed. He just wearing that big plaid shirt with buttons on the sleeves, a weird shirt. And then he asked him what could get him more involved. he said, we tried to get him involved. He asked if the vibes are good. He said, the vibes are great. I'm looking forward to going to have a good night. Again, after getting killed by the Pacers, and that's where his mind was. But do the Heat want to trade Jimmy Butler? I don't think they get enough back for Jimmy Butler. I think they would rather have him on this roster and try and push forward into the playoffs and try and get a good team going. Because I think the Heat have, they have a tiny bit of leverage here because he's got a player option for $50 million. We know Jimmy Butler wants a big contract, but I think the leverage there is, if you want to get paid $50 million, you stay here and you play decently, and you can get that from right here instead of becoming a free agent. It's been a long few weeks, and I think they've kind of been working through this since, I guess, again, December 21st. I had like Kobe flashbacks in 2006 in that playoff series against Phoenix Suns where he didn't shoot. I mean, where he wasn't happy in that
sulking.
Game 7. Yeah. So Jimmy's doing that, but again, really weird how he leaves with an illness, has this thing where he's not playing fourth quarters, kind of not shooting as much, and not running out there as much, not playing in fourth quarters. So they've been working through this. I think this has been going on for a while, and I think eventually he just puts up as much as possible. But I guess the Heat are talking to
Jimmy
people.
Butler is going to put up with as much as possible?
A little more. I mean, he's not a number one guy. His history of 2 weeks.
No, his history with every team he's ever been on before.
Yeah, it happened with the Bulls, happened with the Timberwolves. It didn't really happen with the Sixers, though he did have beef with Ben Simmons and Brett Brown, I do believe, and now it's happening with the Heat.
Jimmy Butler is butthurt. Case closed. He's upset with, obviously, the comments Riley made after last season, sort of calling out, like, hey, man, if you're going to be a superstar, you got to be here. And you're talking all this crap, like how we would have done this and would have done that, but you weren't there. So I think that was the start of all this. Then, of course, the no contract extension. That's a huge part of it. And then, these weeks leading up where Shams is saying, oh, he's sort of asking to be traded. Suddenly his agent saying, oh, yeah, no way, bullcrap. Then, my God, Pat Riley has to come out on December 26th and say, we are not trading Jimmy Butler. Now, you can roll your eyes if you want at that. We've heard many front offices do that before because we're not trading Jimmy Butler because we don't like what everybody's offering right now.
Yeah, what are they getting for him? That's the question.
Well, sure, we can get into that. But
are they going to go forward and say, hey, we're going to have half of Jimmy Butler play for us this season? I mean, what are they getting for him? Like Jimmy Butler for Zach LaVine works. But
it does. They did it once upon a time in Chicago.
I mean, straight up, it works. But do they?
The thing for the Heat is they would be doing it to keep their books looking good and not have the Jimmy Butler $50 million contract next year. The Heat are a team that actually gets free agents, so they can actually use cap space if they were able to get it. He's like 10 years older than Tyler Hero, 8 years older than Bam Adebayo. Like, it feels like the Jimmy era has kind of run its course in Miami. They've had two awesome runs in the postseason, but that's hard to bank on every single year. You guys know what I say about Jimmy Butler. He wants to work hard and be the man. He's not the man in Miami. He's third in usage rate amongst the starters. And when they talk about who the standard bearer is for Heat culture, it's Bam Adebayo. Jimmy Butler is the second fiddle on the court and off the court. He doesn't like that, saying, get me out of here. Good news for hair salons. He'll go to any team, any color available.
Well,
The interesting part is which team thinks that he can be a number one guy right here, right now. It's a lot different than when he was traded from Chicago, a lot different than when he was traded from Minnesota, where teams said, oh, yeah, this is prime Jimmy. I mean, what are teams giving up for Jimmy Butler at 35 years old?
Right. Well, in the case of the Warriors, they're not trading for Jimmy Butler to be the man and the number one guy.
Sure, but they're going to give up Kuminga for it?
Yeah, would have to. Yes, absolutely.
They would have to, but are they?
They would be happy to get rid of Kuminga. I think Wiggins would be the bigger issue for them. But I do think the Warriors makes the most sense for Jimmy Butler. Or if he really wants to be the man, I don't think this is the right move. But the Rockets could go after Jimmy Butler. They need a closer in the fourth quarters. He would be awesome for that team. But they should do what the Thunder did and just kind of hit pause, see what happens.
Yeah,
that's way too old for them. I agree.
Yeah, the new wrinkle to this Jimmy Butler sort of trade rumor intensifying last night was that part that you slipped in there, like, hey, I'm open to playing anywhere now. Like, he really was.
Yeah, he didn't say that in the press conference, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm barely paraphrasing when I say he came out and said, I don't really want to be here because there's no joy to be had, and I'll go anywhere else. And, the complexity is this idea of, like, what he does with his player option next year. Like, the reason for trading him is, would you put it past Jimmy Butler, as insane as it sounds, like, to obviously play out the rest of this year, maybe pout a little bit, maybe not, maybe be very professional about it, but then say, nah, I'm declining my player option, I'm just going to sign somewhere else. And then you're left saying, okay, maybe that's good if you're Miami, he's obviously off the books, but you could have got a young player like Kuminga back or a prospect or a draft pick, which teams I do believe still some teams would offer for Jimmy Butler if you're convinced he can take you sort of to the next level of a postseason run, which he has proven he's pretty damn impressive when it gets to the 16-game season.
How much are teams paying for a 35-year-old going to be 36-year-old when they lace him up next year? That's the question.
Right.
And that's why Jimmy Butler with the Miami Heat, they have some leverage to say, you want $50 million? Bang, you got it. What are teams going to offer instead? 3 for 60? I mean, how much? 70, 80? It depends on the team, depends where they are. You can see why the Golden State Warriors, in theory, would make sense because they want to go for it right here, right now.
Right.
They're old, but
Right.
that could just go up in flames real quick, and they would be giving up a young star for him. So I don't know. That's why I think the Miami Heat they're just not going to find a deal for him.
Yeah, I guess within that, I think it was the Shams article. Maybe the straw that did finally break Jimmy Butler's back here was this implication from team officials about that one game that you said where he came back, didn't seem to be playing his hardest. And again, this is sort of like the rumors coming out of that camp. And I think, man, he takes offense to that more than anything, Trey. Like you said, his whole brand is, work hard and be the man. And like they're saying, you sort of do neither right now. And man, I really think he takes that to heart. And like, I think already it was done, and we've been talking about it for weeks now. This is inevitable, I believe, that he will be moved. And I don't think it's going to be the sexiest return. I think they'd be happy to get either a young player like Kuminga or a draft pick that's sexy enough.
Yeah, and we'll see what trades actually happen at the trade deadline. Obviously, we got a new CBA environment. It's harder to find trades. Who knows who actually is going to do it? But it's kind of been, at this point, I guess, May was 7 months. It's been basically 8 months of Pat Riley saying you don't play enough and play hard enough for this team. It started with him saying you shouldn't say anything if you're not playing. Then he said we need our players to play. And now they are talking about we're not trading this guy. But that to me just seems like playing the media game. And negotiating in the media, because the first report after the first alleged short list of Jimmy Butler trade targets was he's mad that Pat Riley never said he wouldn't trade him. So then Pat Riley says, okay, I'm making a statement that everybody thinks is weird, that Pat Riley came out in the middle of the season and said we're not trading Jimmy Butler. He's like, fine, trade me to any team. Like, so what's next? There's a whole nother month. You remember what happened to Minnesota? He didn't play. He came back with the third stringers. Yeah. Sign up Josh Richardson. Let's see what he's got. He can make it awkward. Jimmy's great at making it awkward.
I have a couple trade possibilities here by way of Tom Ziller that he threw in his newsletter this morning. I'll just chuck them at you. What about Jimmy Butler and Duncan Robinson to New Orleans for Zion Williamson and DeJounte Murray? Let's get crazy. Pelicans, potentially refresh Jimmy Butler. That's where he could be the man. He could be the dog. He could be the lead alpha guy.
Yes.
There's that. Okay, another one. This one. The Pistons acquire Jimmy Butler for Tobias Harris, Isaiah Stewart, and a pick. So the pick would be the key part for Miami.
Tobias Harris over me?
That's right.
Jimmy would be awesome for the Sixers or for the Pistons, and they just had Jaden Ivey go down with an injury. They could use him.
Yep. And then there is this final one here, which is sort of a wild thing, but at its core, it's Jimmy Butler to Denver for Michael Porter Jr. And you'd have a third team involved, and I won't go through all of the metrics of that, but Jimmy to Denver and Michael Porter Jr. out.
When you start to try and make it logical, a guy like Calvin Booth, who's running the Nuggets front office, would sort of make sense because he has made some odd moves the last couple of years, and making Jimmy a guy to try and go to the title sort of makes sense. All these things that we're talking about here, Pelicans, Pistons, there's the Nets one where Sean Marks didn't take on money for next year in the Dorian Finney-Smith deal because it seemed like he wanted to push money onto someone. It could be Jimmy Butler. It's all those three teams, in Pelicans, Pistons, and Nets, are teams that they don't have a lot going on. So maybe you get a guy who's gone to the finals a couple of times, but after leaving the Bulls, when he left the Bulls, those are different times, man. What are you thinking of Jimmy to lead your team here? This is a guy who played way too much for Tom Thibodeau, game after game after game, and you're going to bank on him at the age of 36 to be your number one guy. I find that hard to believe. And all these reports of, hey, I want to go to 6 teams. And apparently he has said that I want to be traded. That he didn't come out and say I want to be traded, but according to all the sources, he said I want to be traded to all 29 other teams. It's odd. He's upset. He's pissed off. But it's a New Year's resolution. Let's talk to you. Let's work it out so you don't stand in the corners as much. Like he says, he's still playing defense. It's true. He plays defense, but he needs to be involved more in the offense and be a number 2 guy to Tyler Hero, really, on the offense. And that's hard for him to do, I guess.
All right, let's keep it moving because we got a lot of resolutions to hand out here. Trey, you're up next. Where are you going?
Tough resolution. Karl Anthony Towns, no more offensive fouls.
Oh, that's like me reading more books. Good luck with that, Kat. I say it every year, but good luck.
Oh, boy. This is a hard resolution. Karl Anthony Towns currently leading the league in offensive fouls, 26 in 32 games. Led the league last year, 52 in 62 games. He was hurt most of the 22-23 season, had 28 offensive fouls in 29 games that he did play. 21-22, led the league. 68 in 74 games. Only played 50 games in the 2021 season. He had 50 offensive fouls, second to Giannis, who had 53 in 61 games. In 1920, he only played 35 games. 28 offensive fouls. It's insane.
But when you watch how he plays, I mean, you sort of understand. He's a lumbering fellow that when I think he gets going, he obviously trucks guys.
He doesn't get that many charges. That's the problem.
So it's on pushes and stuff? Yeah.
Giannis, they're like all charges.
Yeah.
Cat, it's all screens.
Yeah.
It's 100% you setting screens and leaving early or not establishing yourself or leading with your big, weird, goofy body. But the Knicks are a title contender. I don't know what they're going to look like necessarily in the playoffs. Who knows what they look like when they get Mitchell Robinson back. But the best version of their team is their starting lineup. And that means Towns has to be on the floor. Yeah. He can't be picking up 2 offensive fouls at the end of the second quarter and suddenly you're picking up your 4th right at the start. You're sitting down for 12 straight minutes. It's not going to work for the Knicks come playoff time. So Karl Anthony Towns, set your feet, buddy.
Just stay one more beat longer there.
Just one more beat.
Yeah. Well, let's pivot from that into my resolution because it is about the Knicks and it goes sort of along with Karl Anthony Towns. So my resolution for New York and the Knicks is stay the course because they are rolling right now.
They're good.
But I also want someone to break Melo's 62-point game Madison Square Garden record and Knicks record at that. Karl Anthony Towns, despite the offensive fouls, had 31 and 21 on Wednesday night. Josh Hart had a second straight triple-double. They won their 9th straight game. That's where they're at right now. They beat the Jazz, 119-103. No Brunson. He didn't even play in this game. He had calf tightness. They found out sort of soon before the game that he wasn't going to play. But it doesn't matter because you have Cat obviously leading the way, Josh Hart doing everything else, and then Bridges had 27, and OG had 22. Knicks have won 14 of their last 16 games. They got the 3rd best offense, an above-average defense, which actually over the last little while has been top 5, and they have the 5th best net rating in the league. So they're binging, they're bonging, and man, if they beat OKC tonight, I mean, we might as well get the parade ready in New York for them to get the title. But during Monday's playback stream, which we were all on, I think we all learned that the Knicks were the first team in NBA history to have 4 players drop 40 points in a game during a season prior to New Year's Day. And I was like, whoa, holy crap. And that's sort of strange because Brunson scored 55 in overtime versus the Wizards last Saturday. Mikal Bridges had 41 on Christmas Day. Guy turned into Donald Duck. It was amazing. In late November, OG Anunoby finished with 40 points, a new career high versus the Nuggets. And then Cat has already had 2 40-point plus games for New York. That happened in the first 3 weeks of the season. 4 guys capable. I mean, I don't think OG's going to be maybe doing it again this season. That was like lightning in a bottle, but still 3 guys at least that can really fill it up. So I think rock, paper, scissors here between at least Cat and Brunson to find out who's going to have a crack at Carmelo Anthony's 62-point game that he did in 2014 against the Bobcats. The infamous game where Melo had no assists. I mean, he passed the ball, but no one else could hit a shot. So that's still a record. Still a record. And I think I'm very confident one of those guys could beat it here this year with the way the offense is humming and the type of games Brunson and Cat specifically can explode. Because Cat already has 2 60-point plus games under his belt when he was with Minnesota. Mm-hmm. So you could easily see a game where he ups the 3-point attempts, hits 8 or 9 of them, obviously, gets to the line, scores inside and all that. And then Brunson's just a machine. He had 5 games last season where he scored 45-plus points. So I think one of those 2 guys is going to do it.
In Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, to do it over Melo. It sure seems like Karl Anthony Towns could do it. bombing away, especially with Mitchell Robinson coming back. I think defenses will just say, hey, let's back off everybody. Mitchie's here. He ain't shooting. Let's back off Cat. That's where the offensive foul numbers could even go up a little bit more because there'll be more guys in the lane. I thought he was the king of defensive fouls because that happens to him where he gets taken out of games.
He just loves fouling.
Quite often. He just loves fouling. Yeah. It is fun. And they get to play OKC tonight.
That's a
great
big game.
So
it'll be our pick'em game
he'll
later
maybe
on.
drop some threes, man.
But otherwise, Knicks should they are look really good offensively. And again, the defense was brutal for the first couple, I guess, month or so of the season. Like, it was below average, and now it's found its footing here. And they're only going to get Mitchell Robinson back, and they might only get better. Let's do another round. Tass, what do you got for another resolution?
I'm sticking with the Orlando Magic here in the Eastern Conference. They're going to host a playoff series, despite some things that would seem like it would set a team back. Listen to some stats for the Orlando Magic. They are the worst three-point shooting team in the National Basketball Association. And they're still fourth in the Eastern Conference. They shoot 30.6% from three. That would be the worst shooting percentage for a team since 12-13. That's how bad.
Wow.
30.6%.
30% is bad.
Yeah.
That's very bad.
Hey, that's when you start thinking of, like, the games you play pickup. Like, 3 out of 10 threes. Like, we could do that, man.
That's a good night at the pickup run, yeah.
That was hot.
Yeah, exactly. But this team it's incredible that they're sitting fourth. Think about the things that they have gone through. Paul Banchero's only played 5 games this season. He's been rumored to be coming back. He's in that.
He only played
ramping
5 games?
Yeah.
Those were an awesome 5 games.
Yeah, that's why he's so high on the All-Star voting.
Yeah.
Everybody remembers.
Yeah, they're best. He's going to be their best three-point shooter among their starters. Percentage-wise, he already is at 34.4%. He ain't a three-point shooter, but he's going to come back and help that offensive team because they are 26th offensively and 3rd defensively. Yeah. So, sitting at 4th, with all that said, how bad their offense is, Banchero's coming back, I think they should be confident in saying, we will host a series in Orlando. In that, what's that, the arena called?
Amway?
Casilla? No, I'm thinking Miami. Yeah, Amway Arena.
It used to be called Amway. But...
Kia Center now.
Oh, the Kia.
Yeah,
it gets around.
That, yeah.
It was Amway for a long time.
Yeah. Anyway, they should be extremely happy. They're chasing the Knicks. But they're solid. They're solid at 4. No doubt about it. Their defense is so great to watch.
So the resolution is to host a first-round playoff series or improve their three-point shooting. Well, or both.
Yeah, the KCP thing hasn't worked out. He hasn't shot the ball well from three-point land. The whole KCP, we're going to grab him and be able to spread the floor. What's going to spread the floor is Paolo Banchero out there. Coming back soon. Attracting defense. So they're going to do it. They're going to keep up this pace. There's no doubt. The way they fight without not just Franz, not just Banchero, but Franz Wagner as well.
And then Suggs occasionally as well.
Suggs occasionally
as
well.
In and out, yeah.
Cole Anthony diving at legs. We'll get to that a little bit later, which was unfortunate. But all that said, they're playing ridiculously hard, so I believe in them.
Trey, what's your resolution?
It's time for the Chicago Bulls to choose to lose.
There it is. Put it on a t-shirt,
it's
baby.
Time. Hey, you just told me that the Orlando Magic need three-point shooting? Vucci, baby! Call him up, a stretch 5.
Get him
back. Got like 100 centers already. He could finally break the all-time scoring record for the Orlando Magic. I think it has to happen. But honestly, the Bulls need to trade LaVine and Vooch for anything at this point, just like the Nets did. They traded Dennis Schroeder. They traded Dorian Finney-Smith. Didn't get huge returns, but they did it so that their team would be worse. And losing LaVine, losing Vooch, would make the team worse. You're probably not getting a ton back for Zach LaVine. It's going to be a weird trade deadline, it feels like, but a protected first, even just something as simple as a swap to clear the books for Zach LaVine, I think would be huge. Vooch is probably like a second-round pick. It kind of feels like, at this point, maybe 2, if you're feeling crazy. But the Bulls are too good right now. They're currently 15-19, got an incredible quote from Kobe White earlier, right at the end of December. He said, nobody expected us to be here.
Oh, God.
13-17.
Did he honestly say that?
He literally said, nobody expected us to be 13-17.
He ain't wrong.
I took the over. Because I was like, the Bulls are going to do the wrong thing, which is be good. Their over was 27.5. They got they're going to probably go over, but currently 15-19. They're tied with the Kings right now for the 9th worst record in the league, and they owe a top 10 protected first-round pick to the Spurs. So it's kind of just about preservation and improving their odds, because you look at the teams that are below the Bulls in the standings, worst records, and it's basically only the 76ers that you think would probably jump them, because otherwise it's New Orleans, Washington, Charlotte, Utah, Toronto, Portland, Brooklyn. Those are going to be the worst teams in the league. The Bulls, the Bears, they're also terrible.
They lost 10 straight.
Yeah, they tried to win. They tried to win and lost. If only the Bulls could do the same. They could get to 8th, and then they've got a 6% chance at the number 1 pick. That's fine. 26% at top 4. But more importantly, they got a better chance of keeping their pick. So I'm just going to do one quick tankathon.
Okay, here we go.
Simple, quick tankathon. Raptors number 1 pick.
Yeah, let's go.
Bulls number 4 pick.
Oh,
we'll take it.
Hey, we'll take it.
We will take it.
All right, nice.
Time to
Can
lose.
you send that in to Adam Silver, please?
Yeah, I'll
Take a
send it in.
screenshot of that. Send it in. Say this is how we should go.
They should trade Vooch for sure. They shouldn't trade him for 2 second-round picks, because then just everything on social media will be, oh, they traded 2 first-round picks for him, and they get 2 second-round picks back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just do
Sunk
one.
cost, baby.
I'd rather they get one.
Just one, so we don't have that story.
Yeah, so you don't have to hear that stuff.
No, I want to trade Vooch for 2 second-round picks to the Magic, and I want the Zach LaVine, Jimmy Butler trade. Redo it.
I'll do it.
LaVine going to the Heat.
That'll
though.
be good.
Just swap them. I love it.
They're on pace for like 37 wins. Man, Kobe White wasn't wrong. I mean, the over-under line.
What?
I know
It was 20 and the 20.
27th. Nobody expected 37. That's a lot of wins.
But here's the thing: they could trade and start losing a bunch of games and probably still finish 9th or 10th in the Eastern Conference. It would be like a double win in Jim Boylan's standpoint. In his terminology, they would make the play-in tournament. Bulls love it. Dynasty in the play-in 9-10 game. Won the last 2, no big deal. And they could maybe keep their pick. Oh, exciting times.
Right.
Choose to lose.
All right, choose to lose. I do like that. Throw it on a t-shirt. All right, my next resolution is for the Cavaliers, and it is to disregard the betting markets. Okay, here's what I mean by this. We're nearly halfway through the season, and just about by any measure, the Cavaliers are having one of the greatest seasons in NBA history.
Yeah.
I'm guilty. We barely talk about this. I don't feel like anybody's talking about it, but they got the number 1 offense. They have a top 10 defense, and they have a plus 11.8 net rating. Only 6 teams in NBA history have ever posted a net rating higher than that. The 4 of them that are not playing this season went on to win an NBA championship. You said, hold on, the 4 of the 6? Yeah, OKC actually has a higher net rating this season. So that's where we're at. But the Cavs are 29-4. 29-4. Only 12 teams in NBA history have won 29 of their first 33 games. And only 5 this century. This is rare, what they're doing. And again, it feels like none of us are really talking about it. Sam Quinn at CBS Sports had a great point. Quote, one would think that the betting community would be jumping all over a team of this caliber, but it's not. In fact, Vegas seems to see the Cavaliers as a second-tier championship contender at best. And it's true. Of 5 of the major sports books, they have the Cavaliers trailing the Celtics, the Thunder, the Knicks for the shortest championship odds. And some of them have them trailing, or if not tied, with the Nuggets and the Mavericks. That's a little weird that they're still that far down. No, I get that a part of it is like, well, we haven't seen it in the postseason before. You know, you haven't had a lot of playoff success, really, since LeBron James left there. So it's like, we got to see it until we believe it. But at a certain point, the numbers just get so impressive, and the team improves, and they're super deep, and they're only getting guys back, and Mobley's hitting threes now. It's like, I mean, how much do you believe in the Cavaliers to make a very deep run? And should their championship odds, I guess, at this point, almost halfway through the season, be higher and better?
I definitely think they should. But everybody's riding the Celtics and just think that they're going to do it. And OKC has taken some of the headlines just because they've been there for a couple of years.
Yeah.
But they
And
should
they
be
look
higher.
awesome, too.
They should be higher. Yeah, the Celtics just are carrying last year. But yeah, they should. They could be upset. Of course they could be upset.
I mean, it's sort of like perfect for the Cavs if they maintain the number 1 seed. Obviously, home court advantage, that's big. But then the current standings have Celtics, Knicks are going to be 2-3. That means they have to cannibalize, and one of them has to knock each other out. So they would really just have to go through one of the other elite teams so far. I'm talking about the Cavaliers in the Eastern Conference. So that's like a big plus for them as well, if they can keep the number 1 seed. You know, they're not like 10 games up on, obviously, the Celtics or Knicks, but they look awesome. How much do you believe in Cleveland here, TK?
5-game lead for the 1 seed. They're going to get the 1 seed, most likely. I mean, the Celtics, like you're saying, are kind of just chilling this year. They're going to turn it on in the postseason. But I don't know. I'm seeing that the Cavs are on a 70 to 72 win pace right now. And I would say that I would have the least faith in them winning the title of any team that's won 70 or more games. Yeah. There's been 2. I knew one was going to win. I thought the other was going to win. I wouldn't have the Cavs as the favorite in the Eastern Conference. I would still take the Celtics. They mopped the floor with them in the playoffs last year.
Mm-hmm. I think that's fair, but and maybe even OKC, who are a juggernaut in their own right. But like, there's some point to be made here with like the Knicks and the Nuggets and the Mavericks. They should be right there on par with them.
Yeah.
With what they've done now after half the season. This isn't a 2-week stretch where like, oh wow, they're really hot right now. This is a legit good team on both sides of the ball. So
I think it's going to be interesting in the playoffs to see what the Cavs do when a team actually scouts for them for 7 games. The offense won't be as free-flowing. It's probably going to look a little bit more like it did last year under J.B. Bickerstaff when it was just Donovan Mitchell, can you save us?
Yeah. Took 7 games to get through the Magic.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the question is like when the games get slow and ugly, Cleveland I think can probably play that style, but they haven't really had to so far this year. We'll see if they're able to pull out the ugly ones.
Yeah, it's just a strange time because the Celtics just haven't looked like last year until now. As Jason Tatum said when they won here on January 2nd, they said, we're trying to turn January around, man. And they look like...
It was a good win against the Wolves.
And they look like
they were awesome.
Yeah, without Jaylen Brown, without KP. So that's a big part of it. I still think the Celtics would be a favorite in that series, even though they're the road team in that series. No matter what, the Cavs are going to finish first.
But it is, you just said, like, they're on pace to win 70 games, whether they get there or not. Okay, they probably don't, but still, like, nobody really talking about Cleveland Cavaliers being 29-4, which is an unbelievable record.
Yeah.
But it's just where we're at. One more round. Tassel, try and make this one quick. What do you got?
Well, I'm going to the Toronto Raptors. They just have to pretend like it's 2024 starting again, because it kind of feels that way. They just need to see what they got. Starting at the old calendar, last year, a year ago, they traded for Quickly. They traded for R.J. Barrett when they made that Knicks deal. Barnes was an all-star in early February. It's kind of feeling like what they tried to do right here, right now, because Emmanuel Quickly is back, baby. He hadn't played in almost 2 months. He's back. Played on New Year's Day, 15 assists. Wow, they've got their point guard back. He can pass. He was hitting logo shots. He was skipping all over the place. It was such a fun day.
He was skipping all game.
Yeah, he's a skipper.
I love the skip.
He was skipping like 3 or 4 times. He was happy to be back.
Yeah.
And I was happy as Raps fan to see a point guard. It definitely takes a lot of weight off of Scotty Barnes' shoulders.
Do you like this as a nickname? Skip to my cue.
Why not?
Don't mind it.
Do it.
Yeah. He does a ton of it.
Thank you.
Does he have you came up with that?
Yeah, I just came up with it right now.
Oh, wow.
Jesus.
What is there? There's no other good nickname for Quickly. I mean,
IQ
is what they call it.
yeah,
but
that's not a nickname.
Just initials, yeah.
Yeah, skip to my cue. Yeah, he's great. I think that's one of the best celebrations in the NBA. The skipping. Yeah, period. So put that on a T-shirt. Why not? So Scotty Barnes said, after the game, it's nice to have a point guard back.
Yeah.
They haven't had one basically for a year, so they have to just see what they got, because when you go get those 2 guys, you're a top-heavy team, that's for sure. R.J. Barrett's their number 3 guy. He's also listed as questionable for Friday's game against the Magic. He might be back because they haven't played together. They have played 22 games since they made those deals. That's not a lot. So they are here to see what they got. They are better than their record. It's probably way too late to make even the play-in. They got to go like 30-18 over their last 48 games to get to 38
down those
wins.
Bulls.
That ain't good enough. But those guys that I just mentioned, again, they only played 22 games together. We just haven't seen what they are.
Yeah.
They don't know what they are. And so it's totally fine to have a bad season and to have a season that just they're in the lottery, but it ain't a good season if they don't have their guys playing. To see what they have. Those are the guys that they got. And again, this was like 12 months ago. Scotty Barnes was kicking ass. They get Quickly, who's skipping, skip to my cue now. And R.J. Barrett, like, I know they're a top-heavy team, but they're way better than what they're showing right now.
Okay, so just like
play
now
basketball.
that they got the guys, just play. All right. Trey, what do you have for your final resolution?
This one is for me and for the entire NBA to remember. This year is not last year. That's one of the best things I learned in the playoffs. Because heading into last year's playoffs, I was like, the Celtics always blow leads. That didn't happen. They dominated the entire playoffs. Won every single game by 20 points, I think. I also thought Jamal Murray's always a playoff riser. He was for one series, kind of.
Sort of.
Yeah, he made 2
big
game
shots,
winners.
But
Yeah,
didn't
big
have
shots.
Great games, yeah.
Didn't think Gobert and Towns could work together. They were awesome until they weren't. This year, I'm like, what's similar? I'm like Cade Cunningham and Tyler Hero. You guys are good now.
Right.
OKC, maybe the lights are too bright. Last year, J-Dub, terrible game in the NBA Cup, had a poor performance against the Mavericks, but this year's not last year. He could be good. All you need is one playoff series to turn it around. How about Karl Anthony Towns? He's a playoff dropper, right? I don't know about now. Playing with the New York Knicks, more space than he's ever had. No 7'4" Frenchman taking up space in the lane. No 23-year-old jacking threes outside. You got a smart guy in Jalen Brunson getting you the ball. It doesn't have to go the same way it did last year.
Right.
The past predicts a lot of things, but not everything. So just remember, this year is not last year.
Oh, I like this. Good resolution. And my final one, I'll make it very quick. And I sort of added it at the last second after what he did last night. The Warriors, you got to get Steph Curry some help here. You owe it to him. This guy literally turned your franchise, which was worth probably, $300 million into a $9 billion franchise. Go get him some help. He still got it. Steph Curry went 8 for 8 from deep last night against Philadelphia. He's never done that before. He was one shy of matching the NBA record for most threes without him missing a game. And he did all of it with a sprained right thumb. And he just had a monster game, and he always reminds you from time to time here. He had a little cold stretch, right? And for Steph Curry, he was very cold. But 30 points, 10 assists, 6 boards. They get the big win. Steve Kerr turned into Kevin O'Connor last night. He said, we need to cherish these nights. He's not going to be around forever, and he is one of the most beautiful basketball players who's ever lived, and we're lucky to be watching him. End quote. That's Steve Kerr, not KOC. But it's true, and I think they owe it to him to make, whether it's Jimmy Butler, whether it's another sort of key player, I think they do. Because, of course, Steph Curry can still win you games and playoff series, and hell, maybe another title. I think you got to, give him the opportunity to do that, and you don't worry about these future, okay, to a certain extent. I know you can't trade everything, but this guy, what he's done for you, I think you owe it to him to at least lean into trying to give him another year or two here to maybe make some noise. That's all. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are some good resolutions. Let's hear yours for some teams, some players, maybe the NBA in general, maybe yourself. Let us know in the stream team and in the YouTube comments.
Which one do you drop? The Wemby one that you had?
Yeah, I dropped the Wemby one. I wanted to get Steph in there. Mm-hmm. Wembanyama was just Spurs. You got to get into the play-in game because we got to see Wemby in it, and we want meaningful games and sort of playoff reps. And the numbers he's putting up, I know we'll get into some All-Star talk here in a second. His December, go look at his December splits, and they're 28, 10, 4 blocks per, they're good shooting percentages. It's wild. And he's increased his scoring every month here, and he's the alien is adapting. Oh, yeah. The alien is learning. It's like Arrival. It's learning the language.
Yes, it is.
With Amy Adams doing that. I watched that clip the other day. Remember that movie, Arrival?
Arrival is awesome.
It is a good movie.
Arrival should have the reputation that Interstellar has.
Yeah, different movies for sure, but it's good. I love it. But he's learning, and it's scary for the rest of the league. Yeah. So that was that.
Yeah, he had his best month of his career. Obviously, it was awesome, and it's just the perfect time to say these dumb things. As soon as the month ends, all these dumb stats come out. In December, he became the first player in NBA history to compile 300 points, 100 rebounds, 50 blocks, 50 assists, and 43 pointers in a calendar month. You'll never forget. You'll never remember that, I should say. You're gonna forget that.
I think he already basically has a statistical achievement named after him. In my mind, 3-pointers and blocks in a game to me is a Wemby now. I think it's I would say it's 5, or whatever you want to call it. Sure. But that to me is the Wemby. It's that's a Wemby game.
I don't mind
where
that.
he hit a bunch of threes and he blocked a bunch of shots.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see it because he averaged 4.4 blocks in December.
Yeah.
I love month stats. The 4 guys scored 40 before New Year's Eve for the New York Knicks.
Yeah, man.
That part was, I didn't hear the date part of it. I thought it was way cooler.
Yeah, I know.
Before that. The only month-based stat I remember is Sammy Sosa hit 20 home runs in a month in 1998 at one point. Yeah.
That's a lot of home runs.
Yeah, roids.
Hell yeah.
It was awesome.
Baseball was at its best.
Bring them back. 2025, we're doing steroids. That's our resolution.
Okay, let's get to worst of the week.
Ladies and gentlemen, the worst of the week.
4 nominees. You tell me which one is the worst one. I'll throw it up here on YouTube in a poll here as well. The first nominee, I'm not sure how to feel about this one. LaMelo Ball leads all Eastern Conference guards in the first return of fan NBA All-Star voting.
Wow.
Now, I say, I don't know how I feel about that because first I say, well, how about wins? Does it matter? Does it matter that, Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brunson, they're pretty good. And you put them below LaMelo Ball? How on earth could that be? But at the same time, LaMelo Ball, I think he's winning in the highlights department. I mean, which guy are you going to remember for highlights at the beginning of the season? It's got to be the dribbles, the one-legged threes. Trey made a video about those one-legged threes. How do you guys feel just about LaMelo Ball being up there for fans? Because as far as fans go, as far as watching highlights go, this guy could be your all-star for people. But but for some, got to look at this and say, whoa, Mitch, Brunson. I mean,
it was
Lillard,
it was
come on.
shocking to see him with the most votes at the guard position in the East. That to me was like, holy crap. You would expect him to get a lot. Kids love LaMelo Ball. This is all this, clarifies to me. It's like, oh, I guess more kids are probably voting for All-Stars than maybe adults, or I don't know, like diehard NBA fans, whatever. But that's what I think's going on here, because he is extremely popular. Because big part of it, the highlights, how he plays, his personality, I guess. They've known him forever. They almost grew up with him in a lot of cases. So that part's not surprising. But he's not the most. He should not be starting the All-Star team. Although there's 3 All-Star teams now, so I don't know how this is going to work. But anyway, there's more deserving guards in the Eastern Conference, but whatever. It's my opinion.
How do you feel about it, Trey?
It's going to be weird because there's a chance LaMelo, at the very least, ends up leading the guard returns for the entire thing, right?
Yeah.
But my guess is that neither coaches or media will have him anywhere close to the top.
No.
And I don't think he would make it as a replacement if they're just choosing replacements. So he could lead in all-star voting and not be an all-star. That would be very weird.
That's a good point, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. It's highly unlikely.
Because, we haven't done our all-stars yet, but you guys aren't going to have LaMelo Ball on your all-star team.
No.
You would have Trae Young ahead of him by far. I mean, there's like 5 guards.
LaMelo has great stats.
He hasn't played.
He doesn't play that much. He's played 22 games, which
Yeah.
actually was kind of more than I was anticipating.
Same with me,
I'll say that. He has 30 points per game, and the highlights are cool.
They are awesome.
For sure. I do think LaMelo Ball should play in all-star games. He's basically playing all-star basketball
that's true.
regardless of the circumstances. He's playing like it's an all-star game, even though the games count. So I would like to see him, but I don't necessarily think he's a deserving all-star, but he's crushing it in voting. It's hilarious.
Yes, and I think this also shows that the beginning of the season matters a lot to voters. Because the first couple months of the season, I mean, I shouldn't say couple months. The first month to 6 weeks, you'd say LaMelo Ball could be an all-star because he was awesome.
Yep.
The Hornets were actually playing near 500 ball. Then he goes out, he's injured. Now they're 7-25, so it's very unlikely that he gets selected by a coach. They're 7-25. I mean, that is very bad. So it's unlikely. But would this be the guy for the first time in NBA history to lead a category to not make a team?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
It's gotta be.
Yeah, I would think so. Because I mean, this has only been around for like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, 8 years, where we have the multi-factored all-star selections, where you have this as only 50%, because it used to just be you vote him first, he's in. And now, I guess it's probably been 8 years. You'd think anybody, even to lead a position, I don't think it's ever happened.
Yeah, it's a good hypothetical, like what you guys are saying. If he doesn't actually get selected for the All-Star game, because he really only gets the fan vote and then gets really pushed down in the media, and the players still vote for this, right?
Yes.
Yeah. If he gets pushed down there, but there's an injury replacement, I think, is an interesting dilemma for Silver in the NBA, because maybe they go, well, he was the leading vote getter. I mean, that means the fans want him in this game, so maybe he gets the first IR spot if it were to happen. I maybe, but how many shots per game do you think LaMelo Ball takes?
25. Yeah.
You're almost bang on.
Yeah.
24.6 per game. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
You go through NBA history,
crazy,
that's Iverson. Those are Iverson numbers, not many guys is my point. I think it's 5 or 6 guys have only ever taken more.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, though, for Adam Silver to select him, because as far as injury replacement goes and the guard spot, as Trey said, there's another Trey. Trae Young would probably be there. Damian Lillard may not
I think
started.
He'll probably be on the team, I think.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Donovan Mitchell.
I mean,
lock.
So it's at the guards. It's going to be Mitchell, Lillard, then Brunson, Young. Then you've got a Cade Cunningham, and obviously Tyler Hero. So there's a lot.
Yeah, true.
Anyways, moving on. The next nominee, it's Jaden Ivey's injury. Speaking of Eastern guards, he suffered a broken fibula when playing against the Orlando Magic this week. Cole Anthony kind of dove for a ball, and it hit Ivey's leg. He goes down. It was a large scene going on because they had to put the towel on the leg. Cole Anthony felt like, oh man, I feel terrible for what I just did. But a good sign. The Pistons announced that he'll be reevaluated in a month after undergoing surgery. So he's probably going to miss several months, according to Shams Charania, a source there. But the Pistons haven't ruled him out for the season, considering this was his best season. It kind of sucks. He's been playing extremely well. It looked gruesome. It looked bad at first. But
God, I thought he was immediately done for the season. So you're right.
Like it,
Maybe some good news that he could return, possibly, but it didn't look good at all. Oh my God!
Just
and the way, and you always know too, these guys, the way they react to it too, and everybody huddled around, and obviously, like you said, Cole Anthony basically in tears, like, oh my God. And he was having a great season. The Pistons were like playing really well here. Like him and Cade had started to figure things out. Be interesting to see what they do now, like in terms of the starting lineup. How they go about it? Like, do you keep Beasley coming off the bench? You know, is Tim Hardaway Jr. in there? Like, what's the move? We'll find out soon enough, I guess. But sucks.
It does.
Yeah.
And they still won that game. They still came back in that fourth quarter. It was a fourth quarter unfortunate accident. And this guy's been awesome. I mean, to go up, you just didn't think of him as a three-point shooter, but all of a sudden he's 41% from three.
Yeah.
I mean, he's improved. Maybe it's the shooting coach, Fred Vincent, doing it there. He came in. Maybe he helped him. Moving on. Next one here. This is a fun one I saw. It wasn't fun for this guy. The OKC fan who shot a mid-court shot, shot a half-court shot. It was for $20,000, but it went in and out. If you're watching on YouTube, Colby had it. His name was Colby. You don't see a half-court shot rattle around like it's a toilet bowl shot. We're going to see a couple good replays here where the ball. Literally, it was a toilet bowl. It went around that rim.
Oh my God!
And this last angle here is a good one, a bad one for Colby.
See it go off the glass. Oh.
Yeah, I didn't think it was off the glass either, but off the glass, in and out. Colby said, "Give me one more chance," and the in-arena guy said, "I can't do that. I can't do
Sorry,
that."
man. Time crunch here.
Sorry,
we got to get you off the court. We got to get the game going again.
They had a free throw shot competition to see who would shoot the half-court shot, and this guy was on. He was on.
He was feeling it.
He was 10 of 15 from the line, just bang, bang, bang. He was pretty good. I was watching it live.
Wow,
I was watching it live.
That's really impressive in like that setting for sure.
Yeah, it was
because you're speeding too, because you're trying to hit a lot.
Yeah, it was 24 seconds. I guess he shot 15 shots in 24
Holy
seconds.
Holy crap!
He was going. He was going.
Eat your heart out, Giannis. It literally takes him 24 seconds to shoot one free throw. That's crazy though that the Thunder have a fan whose last name is mid-first with all the picks they have?
Yes, his jersey that he had on said mid-first on the back. What a
is
weird...
Is it a bank or something?
Weird jersey.
Oh, I thought he was just protected.
I have no idea what he...
Yeah, it's a mid-first bank. That's what it is.
What a weird jersey. Anyway, last one here. It's got to be the Sacramento Kings. This team missed the playoffs for 16 years. They get Mike Brown in to coach them. They make the playoffs. They've got their fans back buzzing. It's a fun time to be a Kings fan. They finally had enthusiasm. Mike Brown had a win-loss record of 107 and 88 started this season, 13 and 18, and they say on a Friday after he ran a practice and he's going to the airport to fly to LA for the game, they say, 13 and 18 ain't good enough. They fire him. And so it's just the way that they did it. We've talked about it last Friday.
No balls,
we talked about it on Monday.
no class.
Yeah.
No balls, no class.
On Friday, as Michael Malone said, no balls, no class. Because Michael Malone was a guy who got fired in Sacramento early in the season. Vivek Ranadive is an owner, and I mention him specifically because after a week of digesting, it sure feels like it's more coming from the top of the top rather than the front office. Because he has let Michael Malone go early in the season. He let Luke Walton go early in the season, wanted to change. So it's just unfortunate the way it all happened.
But They have won 2 of their last 3 games.
They did.
You see
Now-
what Doug Christie did with them?
I did see what Doug Christie
That was
did.
crazy, bro. Took him on the roof to see the beam. They're like, come see the beam. He's like, just rock with me. Just
Yeah.
rock with me. Put on your winter hats.
Yeah,
Get your toques.
He
We're
told
going
them to
on
bundle
the
up.
roof.
Apparently, it was like 45 degrees in Sacramento
Yeah.
that night. It's pretty chilly.
Yeah, it looked cool, man.
Yeah,
Seemed
and he's
dangerous.
like, he had some good lines too, like about the beam and like you're the light of this city.
Yeah,
and stuff
you're
like
right.
that. But wild move to take him up there.
Two huge wins against the Dallas team without
Yeah, I
Kyrie
know, I
and
know,
Luka,
I know.
without their players, and then they beat the Sixers without Joel Embiid. Awesome for that.
I know. I would have had confidence in Mike Brown getting
Yeah, I
one
think
or
so.
2 of those wins as well. I'm with you, but yeah, what a move there from Doug.
Anyway,
I
so-
just
He
kept
was
thinking-
saving it, man. That guy's been an assistant coach the entire time the beam's been getting lit. He could have mentioned it to Mike Brown
Yes.
at any time. Hey, we should go up there, man. They'll love it. They'll
Yeah.
love it. He didn't.
He's saving it.
Or he mentioned it. Mike Brown said, no, that's amateur hour.
So then Doug took it to Ranadive and was like, I was
Vivek.
trying to get the guys
I
up.
wanted to go see it. You told me it's cool. Mike said no. Vivek said, get out of here.
Hey, in Doug's defense, it looked cool as shit. Up close.
A lot more than one beam.
Oh my God.
Several
yeah.
beams.
Looks awesome. That would get me hyped to play.
You see that LED light? That was so cool.
Yeah, he must have convinced Vivek that he's going to turn things around. I mean, hire me. I'll get that beam going. I wish there was a camera watching what those guys had to say to each other, because he probably convinced them. Fire Mike. Let me in. He's been... it just kind of flies under the radar that he's been assistant there for now. This is season 4 for
I remember
him.
you guys saying like he used to be on the broadcast. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. That must have been 2 years ago or something. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh no, has been assistant coach for quite a while.
He's there. You always see Doug hanging out there. What is Doug doing? He's got a plan.
Doug doing.
That move though, taking the team up to the beam. I wonder if that was inspired by his reality television days. That's like a cool scene when you think about
Producers would love that.
And they were filming it. Yep. He was like, get the cameras. We got to get this.
It's not a guy that I would remember had a reality show.
Yeah,
He did.
That's right.
All right. So the on the stream team, if you're following along,
Okay.
vote for your worst of the week. It's LaMelo leading the East guards in voting. People are voting for that when it's leading right this second.
Yeah.
Oh no, the Kings have taken the lead.
Oh, wow.
Jaden Ivey's injury, or OKC fan missing. I spelled missing wrong. The half court shot. I put Missinmingu.
I don't think that one's winning anyway. So,
Man, that hurt. That hurt to see a ball rattle in and out like that.
Yeah, that's tough.
do you think
that
they
was
should
tough.
give him $5K for that?
Yeah.
That's close enough.
Come on, mid-first.
Yeah,
bank.
come on. The bank's got the money for sure. All right, well, get your votes in. We'll maybe circle back at the end of the show and see who gets the honors for worst of the week. Let's go to pick 'em results from December. Now, it was a weird December. We were traveling for the NBA Cup to Vegas, and then obviously the holidays hit, and so we didn't have a ton of games we were picking from as the month went on. But in the end, it came down to that final game between Tass and Esh, and Esh got it done. He got the victory. So that
I
means
shouldn't have given him the first option. He got
Yeah.
to pick the Knicks.
that was, oh my God, the Knicks Wizards game. You're right, from playback on Monday night. And Tass jumped on the stream and was very confident because the Wizards were playing really well and
Got
keeping
me.
it
They
were looking
close.
good.
And then they got punked. So Tass finished the month 3-9. So rough record. He's obviously in last place, and so that means he has to pay it off next week, starting Monday. Tass will be outside all week long as he co-hosts the show. Now, timing could not be better because we might be hitting one of the
better. Couldn't be much better.
It couldn't be better for comedy. Okay,
Yeah,
it could be much better for
Absolutely,
Tass and
absolutely.
maybe his health. But we might be getting one of the coldest stretches we've ever had here in Atlanta. Like, I don't think I'm
Yeah.
exaggerating.
No.
Like, it's supposed to get very cold here. We maybe get some snow, but Tass will be outside, Monday through Friday, doing the show. So
Yeah.
bundle up, big boy.
Get an ambulance out there, just in case. You never know. Just have it ready.
As long as you got a
Oh,
nice
it'll be
jacket and
fine.
hat.
I'm not complaining. Danielle is saying, I don't know if you should do this. You got to downplay it. First of all, you do anything for comedy or for a show. It'll be funny. You'll be able
And
to
it's
see.
not like we're making you,
you'll
like,
really be
stand
able
in a
to
tank top. Yeah,
you'll
yeah.
really be able to see it on camera how cold it is.
breath.
You won't be able to see anything.
No, your breath.
I'm just gonna be
your breath.
Maybe, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be below zero. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not
What
worried.
do you mean? Like she doesn't want you to be outside for an hour?
That's basically what she's saying. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's, yeah, that's basically it. Don't worry about it, JD. She'll be fine.
I think she would have a point if we were
just
like,
making the
you're
point.
in shorts and tank top.
Yeah.
Like, that's okay. That's not healthy,
No,
you know?
do that.
Yeah, it's not to worry. I'm not just going to be wearing a tank top. But yes, for all those out there, it'll be, for our Celsius people, it'll be 0, 1. Well, it's 32 here. So that'll be fine.
Cool, man.
That'll be fine.
JD, he will be at an undisclosed location. Is this correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Undisclosed location.
Are we going to blindfold him and take him to the spot that he has no idea where he is?
I mean, we could do that if we want to be really elaborate.
Okay, that's next week, all week long. Pick'ems have turned into a week-long thing now. Tass outside. But let's do it all over again for January. Tass, what's our first game for 2025?
Well, it's a juicy game. Knicks visiting the Thunder. Thunder favored by 5.5, so they got to win by 6 or more. Myself and Esh, the big losers from last month, feel like we can that OKC can take this one. Why do you guys think that the Knicks will cover or win in this game?
I'm excited. I think we're going to get a close game is where I'm sort of leaning on this one. I'm not saying the OKC's not going to win this game, but I think we could have a close one. What's your reasoning here, TK?
I think the Knicks can win this game. Mm-hmm. So, give me some points.
Give me some points.
Okay.
Done.
Is a back-to-back situation for OKC. Too,
Yeah.
If you put any stock
Yeah, that's
into
why
that.
they started.
They got a good deep team though, so.
That's why they started slow yesterday. They said, "Oh yeah, we got to play the Knicks tomorrow." So they're ready for this.
Yeah.
one. They're ready.
They never are concerned when they start slow. Because they're like, we'll get back in.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that defense
Should be a good
against
game.
this Knicks offense.
Yeah, right. All right, before we go, a little rapid fire fun. Trey Kirby has the questions. We've got the answers. Let's do it.
Happy old year! Saw a lot of year-end lists the last couple of weeks, guys. Best books, top movies, great records, classic podcasts, and the like.
Yeah.
So the question for you, what was your favorite piece of media from 2024, Skeets?
I thought long and hard about this. Like, I was like, movie, television show. Was it a book? Was it a record? Sort of went with a wild card, Trey. I think you'll allow it. My favorite piece of media was actually the Drake-Kendrick Lamar beef that happened sort of in March and April and nearly into May of 2024. Those were some fun weeks there when it was nonstop diss track flying back and forth, sometimes 2 a day from guys, and it was like that one stretch where it was just nonstop. Oh my God, what is this hidden message? And everybody's like, the WhatsApp chats were going crazy, and it was a lot of fun.
That was in March?
It started really in March, but April was when it really got into the back and forth. I say it started because I always forget J. Cole sort of kicked things off, right?
Yeah.
With what pissed off Kendrick Lamar with the line from First Person Shooter. And then it's so funny when you think about what really got it going was J. Cole claiming that himself, Drake, and Lamar were the big 3 of modern rap.
Yes.
But then Kendrick sort of took offense to that and was like, no, it's not the big 3, it's the big me. And then J. Cole had a diss track, which he released, immediately pulled back and apologized to Kendrick Lamar. The wisest move anyone maybe made in 2024.
Good.
And then that's when Drake released his diss tracks, and then Kendrick come back, and then, oh my God, it ends in like the song of the year, probably, in Not Like Us. And then we had the concert from Kendrick Lamar, and that's when we got a little NBA tie-in. Got Russell Westbrook, DeMar DeRozan on stage there. That was awesome. So I don't know. That was fun.
Good media.
It was
Really
great.
Good media.
It was great.
Yeah, great responses from people. That was my favorite part.
Oh,
was
yeah.
when Giannis was getting ready for the Olympics in July in his pre-Olympic tournament. He was vibing to it. And so that's the best part for me. Just everybody loving it, really. My best media was Shrinking, the show on Apple. A really fun show. Jason Segel crushed it, and somehow he lured in Harrison Ford into doing a comedy, because apparently he somehow sent it through Harrison Ford's people to try and get him in, and somehow Harrison Ford said, "I'm in." Immediately. I don't know how he did it, but it's fun.
It is good.
Just a fun.
Yep.
Just a fun.
I watched
quick
both
one.
seasons.
That's an Apple TV, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a season 3 coming.
Season 2 just ended, I think.
You
It
got
did,
You
yeah,
got to
it
assume
did.
there would be, though, yeah.
There will be, I would have to imagine. Apple TV, all good shows that nobody
Knows about. No.
Silo coming soon. Severance, apparently it's coming back.
Yeah.
That show's been gone for 6 years.
I just rewatched that first season. Man, it's so good. I'm very excited for the second season. Yeah.
JD, favorite piece of media from last year?
Well, maybe it's recency bias, but I'm going with Andy and Anderson. 4-hour broadcast on New Year's Eve. It's my favorite show of the year. There's nothing like it on television or anywhere else. It's just the greatest thing ever. I mean, there's lots of things that I watched that I liked. You know, the Olympics was pretty good.
The Olympics was good.
But, yeah, I don't know. I just sat there for 4 hours, thoroughly entertained.
You watched all 4 hours?
4 hours.
You watched so many commercials.
Well, you got my, my iPad over here, and I got my kid playing Call of Duty as well. So we're just hanging out New Year's Eve.
You have it on in the background.
Yeah, it's there.
When does it start? Like, when does the 4 hours start to 8?
Eastern.
Okay.
Yeah.
So weird. Nora said this. We watched a little bit of it, not 4 hours. We, jumped in here and there. And it is funny. It's like, they're hilarious.
Yeah.
They are. And it's completely unhinged.
Yeah.
I have to always remind myself this is somehow on CNN. It's like, they're doing shots of tequila and like, no F's given. It's like, what? It's so weird. But, it was raining in New York City. Mm-hmm. Why don't they have them under like a thing to at least protect them from the rain? They're literally holding umbrellas that they don't all fit on stage when they bring a guest in.
Yeah.
Like,
and the umbrellas
Andy Cohen at one point had to like full arm his umbrella so it was above the other 2 umbrellas. You know what I mean? It doesn't fit.
I know. I kind of want them to have a tarp, but it's also better not having the tarp because they're getting douched with rain. It's so awesome, man. Like, I was saying this to Matt on Is This Good? Like, we did live television for 6 years.
Yeah.
And it's just the most fun thing that you'll ever do. Like, it's just so hilarious and cool, and I love it. I love it.
It's good.
Do you think they wear adult diapers?
Andy and Anderson?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
So funny.
Richard Quest? Probably. That guy's down in the trenches.
Want to see what it's like with the real people.
I love seeing Planet Fitness hats on those people in 2020.
I saw a clip of like when they opened the gate.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the one guy lost his hat. He almost went back to get it.
Bro.
He thought about it. He's like, "Oh, I
can't do it.
Yeah.
Can't go back."
What a sprint! That's a sprint of a lot of people. Too.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Just sprinting to be in the front row, basically to get on television. If you're being honest.
Yeah.
It's like if we're in the front, we'll get on TV.
Oh, and the awkward crowd interactions, the clumsy Listerine promotions. It's just, it's gold for me. I just cannot get enough.
I'm using an umbrella on Monday, JD. Sorry, man.
No, it's
gonna be raining.
Well, we're not building you something, so that's fair. Yeah. But it's like, I just don't understand why they don't put something over them. Yeah. Because they are standing in the pissing rain for 4 hours.
With lights and cameras and everything.
Right.
Yeah, those are covered. I bet. Yeah.
It's odd. Very odd.
Oh, good stuff.
Are you going to wear an adult diaper?
I'd love to.
Happy New Year!
Okay.
Last year's done. So let's set some goals. Fellas, what's a goal you want to accomplish in 2025?
I know I sound like a broken record with this. Trust me, I'm not happy to say it again. I just want my green card. That's all I want. I just would love to get a green card here. This has been crazy how long this has taken.
This is the year.
We are just in a waiting queue right now. We're waiting on the call. We're at the final stage. I thought it was going to happen at the end of 2024 because we filed this thing a long time ago, but here we are in 2025. Hopefully it comes earlier rather than later. It's a goal of mine. Sort of out of my hands at this point, but
completely out of your hands.
Well, I don't know. Task gave me some maybe things to try. Write some letters to my congressman.
My man John Lewis, R.I.P. He did it.
Peace, yeah. But anyway, that's a goal. Good one.
I mean, writing the letters is a good idea because, as I've said before, my theory is they just weigh the paper like. It's on a scale, and it's just as soon as it hits 10 pounds or whatever.
They're like, okay, that's enough.
All right, you're in, man.
They care.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got something better than that?
Oh, yeah. I might sound like a record, too, because you probably hear this New Year's resolution every year from a lot of people. Drink more water. I got to drink more water. But I have gotten way better here late in the calendar year because I got a water jug with a bigger spout. That's all it takes. I mean, I have been drinking water for a long period of time with my old Twitter Nalgene, but I left it in Salt Lake City when we were there for the All-Star game.
No.
Yeah, I'd been consuming water very well through that. But I missed it. I missed something with a big water spout. That's all I need. Just give me the water. I can't suck straws. I can't suck them. I get nothing out of it. I just need to consume a lot.
Oh, so
Let go
you're
for it.
saying like a twist off top to chug from. Yeah.
You're gonna drink water the same amount of times, but if there's a bigger opening, you'll get more water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's me.
genius.
That's me.
I mean, I've said before, it's the only way I drink water, and I only chug it.
Basically, yeah.
I never enjoy a glass of water. I only chug it because I need to drink more water. I'm with you.
I'm the exact opposite. When I started using a straw,
You just sip all day.
it at least tripled my water intake.
Wow.
At least.
Well, you got that fancy water cooler in the house too.
Oh, yeah.
It's got like a Great Barrier Reef inside of it.
That's right, yeah. It's called a filter.
It always looks like an aquarium to me. I'm always
I know,
like, am I
yeah.
supposed to drink this?
Yeah, you are.
I've heard raw water.
Raw water.
It's in vogue right now. Raw water.
Oh gosh.
Unfiltered. Straight from the springs.
Oh, from the spring, sure. It's called bottled water. It's called Evian.
No. That water's treated.
Okay.
Yeah, microplastics. You gotta get
yeah.
raw water.
Raw
How do you get it? Well, you need a spring.
Where are you getting your raw water from?
Dig a
I
well.
can't tell you guys.
Oh.
I can't. You'll take all my water.
You're right.
It's so hot. I thought raw milk was hot. But I
Yeah,
guess
exactly. Next up, raw air. What you're breathing? Bad stuff.
Man, I was drinking raw water in Vegas, and god damn,
Out of
that
the
water
tap?
sucks.
Oh, it's the worst.
It's
Vegas
pretty
water
bad.
is bad, yeah.
It's like makes me long for Atlanta water, which I'm pretty sure sucks as well.
Yeah.
Which then makes me long for Ontario water.
Wow.
That was good water.
Ontario water is good. I just had some right out
Should
of
have
the
brought me some back.
Sorry, man.
it's fresh water. Just take it from the lake.
It's
Good. Great place to get it. JD, you got
Oh,
it.
yeah. Look good naked. It's the same every fucking year.
Need to go to Planet Fitness.
Well, I just joined a bougie gym.
That's not that bougie.
Oh, it's pretty bougie. I went there for the first time the other day. I was like, God, this is very fancy.
Really?
Well, it's new, right?
It's brand
Oh,
new.
okay,
They
that
just
helps.
built it.
It's a lifetime.
Hey, I saw on the
Congratulations,
calendar you
man.
got to swim at 3:00.
Oh, did I put that in there? Yeah.
You put it in the wrong
Guess
calendar.
what? That's not happening.
With an emoji.
Oh, why
Now I got to record it. Is this good?
Oh god.
So
what
my resolution is already out the window.
Brutal.
Oh, is this good? Having to record a second show? No. Tell them no.
Happy New Year!
Oh, boy, happy New
What's
Year.
your best piece of advice for the new year, 2025?
I guess it's some things we've talked about already. I do like drink more water. I like read more books. I think I should eat more blueberries and walnuts. Those are like superfoods, man. And I like both of them. So I'm like, oh, I'm in on that. But you know what? Piece of advice for the new year: don't be afraid to fail. Right? That's good advice for anyone out there, I think.
great.
Don't be afraid to fail. What the hell's going to happen? Honestly, usually nothing. So just do it. Try it.
Try it.
Go get it. Whether that's swimming in a bougie gym, or eating blueberries, or chugging water. Don't be afraid to fail.
Don't. That's good. That's actually good advice. Tass, what you got?
Put your phone down. It's a classic. Put your phone away. Don't sleep beside it. You know, that thing. Turn it off. Do one of those things.
Sure.
Our good friend, whose name I literally forgot for a second, Daryl, definitely leaning into that about putting the phones away. I think I'm talking like they got the box and everything.
Oh, yeah. Like a time lock.
Yeah, like taking it very seriously. So maybe that's what you gotta do. You probably do have to do that. I feel like I have to at this point.
It's healthy.
It's very difficult not to wake up in the morning and immediately check your phone.
Yeah.
It really is, for me at least. I don't know about you guys, but
Yeah, I don't really check until I get on the slacks.
well, it's like I guess my excuse is it's sort of work related because I'm
Yeah.
like, well, what happened in the super late Lakers game that I didn't stay up for?
Yeah, but
You
then
know?
you're working from the moment you.
I know.
wake up.
Well,
It's
that's
not
what I'm
good.
doing.
It's not healthy.
Yeah.
It's healthy for the show.
You're right. You're right.
But you're right.
Yeah.
We'll come in here raw water and raw shows. 25.
At least go piss
great.
first. That's all. Go piss.
No.
No, yeah.
I like to read the Pulse newsletter in bed in the morning, first thing in the morning. That's nice because it just keeps me up on sports.
Yeah.
I don't follow all this other sports. There's a lot of sports.
Sports, raw sports.
Yeah, raw sports a great idea. It would definitely improve the show. I
Raw
know.
sports.
Yeah, raw sports. It's our new YouTube channel.
Raw Sports is good.
I like it a lot.
So what
we
is
need.
Raw Sports? I guess we just like consume we literally just react in immediate live time to something.
Yeah, a lot different than what we're doing. We spend 12 hours cooking it up before we talk about it. JD, give us some advice for the new year.
Yeah, this is going to go to Skeet specifically. I was going to say this anyway.
Yeah.
But get over it and just get an audiobook. Like, listen to audiobooks. If you want to read more books, it's a fucking great way to get it into your brain. Maybe you don't absorb it the same way, but I don't know. That's how I got through War and Peace. I didn't read it. I listened to it.
Yeah. That's a great advice. I'm going to take you up on that advice.
Yeah.
Especially now I got a lot more running happening here now, so I'm out there. I need something to listen to.
Yeah.
There's nothing more infuriating when I run out of podcasts and then you want to go like either work out or whatever, run. Like, I got nothing to listen to. Now I'm like firing up YouTube, but now I got to keep my freaking phone open. It drives me nuts.
Oh, that would be tough. Run with a YouTube?
Well, no, I don't. Yeah, but more
But even
workout.
still.
Like, 15-second ad.
Okay.
It's better than not reading at all.
Now, do I activate this? Can I activate this on my Spotify account? Is that what I got to pay more, right?
They have audiobooks in Spotify for sure.
Oh, do they? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I have an Audible. It's attached to my
Audible,
Amazon.
yes. Oh, okay. Yeah,
Get them from your library.
24
Nora does.
books.
Yep.
I'll give you my password, man. I got at least 300 books in there.
All right. Wow, really?
Easily 300 books. Yeah. Easily.
Yeah, you don't blow them away when you're done with them?
Well, it's in the library. It's just
it's
it's not sitting on my phone.
It's in the cloud.
It's in the cloud.
Oh, shit. Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, that's rapid fire.
Great.
What about you? Do you have a piece of either advice, Trey, or I am interested to hear a favorite piece of media, too. What was your favorite from?
Red Rooms was my favorite piece of media. A
Red
movie.
Rooms.
May have technically released in 2023, but wide distribution in 2024. I watched it on the airplane on the way back from Las Vegas. It's about a woman who gets obsessed with the serial killer murder trial.
Oh, yes, you did mention
Rooms?
this.
I've never
Red Rooms.
Yeah, it came out in 23.
It's a
Yeah.
Quebecois movie.
Right.
So get your French up. What else do I want to tell you? Read a novel.
Good idea.
Hey, books fans, read a novel. Don't just read a basketball book, Skeets.
No, exactly.
JD's reading War and Peace, listening to War and Peace.
Yeah.
Who did they get to do the audiobook, not the author?
Oh, the guy who did it was like very almost Russian sounding. It sounded, it was very cool. It was very, very good.
Nice. The voice is key.
Yeah.
It is nice. You get to hear different accents, too.
Yep.
That's cool.
A good actor
Oh, yeah,
really
I
brings
bet.
it to life.
Okay. All right, I'm in. I mean, get your suggestions in, I guess, for me, for audiobooks at least I should tackle. And any advice for the new year?
More real media, less social media.
There we go.
There you go.
Can all take that.
Read a book. Watch a
That said,
movie,
hit
read
the like button,
newspaper.
subscribe. Make sure you
This
follow
is
us
real
on
media.
all social
This is
media.
real media. Look at
listen,
this. It's not just
real.
a show. It's also
Table.
a podcast. We got microphones here.
True.
It's not just text coming on your screen.
No, you're right. These are real humans here. Nothing AI on No Dunks. We're back on Monday. NBA weekend winners and losers. Tass outside to start his pick and payoff for the week. Can't wait to check the temperature on Monday. So we will see you there, or you'll see us here come Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Hit the like button, subscribe, podcast listeners. Leave us a 5-star rating and review. Happy New Year to everyone. Have a great week. It feels, to me, it felt like Monday today. Anybody else? I was like, yeah, Monday, here we go.
The long break.
Yeah. But nope. We'll see you on Monday. Until then, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us, and remember, Stream Team always coming through, real people there. The poll they called Jaden Ivey the worst of the week.
Wow.
Also, I take it all back. I say great people doing stuff on the Stream Team. Vodfax said to drink out of the Camelback shoot mag, that thing where you suck it.
Yeah.
I ain't down with that.
So he wants you to wear the knapsack around?
Yeah, people do that, I guess. Just so you always have water.
I mean,
with
you always
Like
have
you do.
it. Yeah.
That's nice.
Like I wear it when I hike. It's convenient then.
Yeah, not doing it.
I'm going to be running around with a Camelback on, sipping water, listening to audiobooks, War and Peace. What a weird 2025 is going to be. All right.
What about carrying your garbage around? I like that.
What?
Trevor Noah said he was in Japan. He said there's no garbage cans anywhere. You have to carry. You know, like you go in Britain, there's no garbage cans in the subway, in the metro. you just have to carry your
Right,
garbage
take it
plate,
out.
and then you really change what you put into your body. You know, because if you have a coffee, you can't just throw the garbage out. If you have something to snack on, you can't just throw the garbage out. You have to carry it. So that changes what you get put into your body. That's all I got to say. Thanks, Trevor Noah. See you later. Have a great
Embrace the
day.
day, people.